tuned in to NWCLV.FM. It's DJ Cole. I'm gonna switch right quick, get your wasn't old. Today, we got my round big dog Frank Hawkins in here with my Through My Lens podcast. And we have McCoy and Jayson. Dixon. We gonna get right into it. Action.
Welcome to Through My Lens, and we have two special guests today. It's going to bestow some knowledge on the listening public, right?
Yes, sir.
We're here at the Told You Studios. We appreciate y'all listening to NVLV, NWCLV.FM. All right, let's just jump right into it. We're going to start with you, Mo. Movie producer.
Yes,
we was
sir.
talking a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Share with the audience your story, because I think it's fascinating, and then we're going to dig in a little deeper.
All right. Well, my name is Mo McCoy. I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan. You know, small town in Michigan. We get all the seasons. I'm talking about hot, like Vegas.
Yeah.
And then we got snow, like Alaska. You know,
Y'all
we
wasn't affected
surrounded-
with that water issue that they had, were you?
That was Flint, but
Flint,
I think
okay.
the water problem is pretty much everywhere. You know what I mean? But it was really bad in Flint,
Okay.
and so we always boiled our water.
Always,
Water.
anyway.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what my mom did.
Okay.
I just knew when I was like 7 years old that I was gonna be some kind of star. That's what I told my grandma, rest of her soul. I said, "Grandma, I'm gonna be a star." And she said, "You go ahead, baby. Go ahead, be a star."
That's right. That's right.
And so I started off in music. I saw one of my good friends. He was like, "I got a show today." I said, "Where?" He said, "At the Rosa Parks Circle downtown." I said, "Okay, cool." So I goes down with him, and he is playing the drums and rapping at the same time.
And how old were you?
I was like, I'd say about 11
Okay.
then.
All right.
And when I saw that, it just blew me away. Just entertainment. That was my whole entertainment discovery right there.
Right.
And so I got into music first, which led me to want a music video. And so I learned from GRTV. They had a TV station, and so I just went down there and I said, "Hey, I want to learn TV."
Wow. How old were you then?
I think I was about 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they welcomed you in and said,
Oh, they
okay.
said, "Come on, yeah."
What?
Come on. They
So
said
that kept you out of trouble too?
Oh yeah, it definitely kept me out of trouble because all the rest of my friends was selling dope. And,
Right.
Well, I had one friend that was a boxer. He did pretty good. His name Floyd Mayweather.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he turned up.
Yeah.
But but that's what kept me busy. Just
Well, let me ask you a question. Stop you there. 14. So you do movies for him now? You video him now?
I just know him. That's all I do.
But you knew him from the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. go
Growing
ahead.
up, yeah,
All right.
yeah. And,
Well, we need to get you back in touch with him.
Yeah,
So, Floyd,
I'm
you're watching this. You got a homeboy here. You need to be
Floyd,
hooking
you know
him
who
up.
I am.
Yeah. Hook your boy up.
Knows me. Yeah. But Floyd did great from our city, and I know a lot of celebrities that's right from Grand Rapids, Michigan, like Marvin Sapp, the DeBarges. So I was always around greatness, so I knew I could be great. You know what I mean? Because
That's
I saw them, and once I got in GRTV, they let me learn the equipment. They said, "This is how you turn it on and go." So I had to get experience. So I just started bringing the camera everywhere we went. And
You took in junior high and high school?
Mm-hmm.
So what was the people saying in your neighborhood or your friends or?
We kind of our group was called the Nappy Head Assassins. We was booked all over the city. We were just like from all the different neighborhoods. We just came together and formed a group called the Nappy Head Assassins.
Wow.
And we
What
went
y'all
around
do?
doing music, you know. And we had a meeting place. My brother DJ Big Nap had a basement, and he had the ASR 10 down there.
Now what's
and
the
speaker.
ASR 10?
That's a beat making machine.
Okay.
It looked like a piano, but it make beats.
All right.
And that's where he made the beats, and we recorded the songs right there. And then if I fast forward through the music career, I was doing real well. I toured all over the country.
Now what's real well mean?
I mean, I was making six figures doing
And
doing
what
music.
year was this?
This was 2005.
That's how I met
Nice.
him.
That's how you met him?
Music.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I was touring colleges with a game show called Think Fast. So basically, I would do my show and then run their show, and we give away $200. So the show was packed every night.
Wow.
So and they paid us every week.
And this was in Grand Rapids too? Or you moved on from there?
Well, I was still living in Grand Rapids when I was doing that. I would come back and I'll be working pretty much 6-7 months out of the year, and then we're off during the school time.
And you was
during
going
the
to college
holiday.
too?
No, I just started going to college a few years ago.
All right, all right.
I doubled back on college.
All right, that's all right. You making that paper though?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure. But it came to a point where I started having kids, and I wanted to be home more, and so I felt like in 2014 was where I made the decision to switch to film, and just really put my energy into that. But my first movie, how it came about, is we got off tour, and we didn't have nothing to do, so I signed up for a sales meeting, learn how to do sales, because I figured, I got music, I want to sell it.
That's right.
That just was simple to me. So I went to the sales meeting, and my partner, he's like, "Man, I ain't going in there." I'm like, "What? You don't want to learn sales, bro? Sales?
Everything's about
That's where the
sales.
money at."
That's right.
And he was like, "No." I said, "Well, you got to stay productive, do something. Why don't you make a movie or something?" I was just being sarcastic, and he was like, "All right." So I go into the sales meeting. I learned some great information. I come back out. I'm like, "So what you do?" He said, "I wrote a movie."
Wow.
He actually wrote a movie.
Wow.
It's called Tomorrow's Never Promised.
Yeah.
Wow.
And before I went in, I said, if you make the movie, if you write it, I'll make it. I just was kind of feeling myself because I always had the camera,
Yeah.
And I never made a movie before. But once he wrote that, I said, I just film those scenes. I get the people that he's talking about into the movie. That's casting. And then I need a location. Well, I know a lot of people in my city. I've been on the radio for 10 years.
Yeah.
So car lot, that's where I'm going to get the cars from.
Yeah.
Club, that's where I'm going to get the location from.
Yeah.
And so I just put it all together. We filmed, I think, 3 days. And then we went straight to GRTV.
How'd you learn to edit?
I started editing. I did that with
No experience.
No experience. It started linear editing. It was called linear editing. So basically, you would ingest the footage from a videotape, and then we would line the music up with these two dials. I got that mastered. Then a new program came out called Media 100. I said, okay, so we digital now, so let me learn that. And then I mastered digital Media 100, and then Final Cut came out. So I was like, let me learn that. And by the time I did the movie, I was on Final Cut. So I've already been editing. So I just took it. I got to say, an inch by inch is a cinch. So when I got into the edit suite, whatever we filmed, I said I knew I got to make a scene. So it has to have a beginning, middle, and end. I knew that naturally because I watch TV and movies. You know what I'm saying? So I just started.
So how long was the first movie?
It was about an hour and 25 minutes.
Oh, that's long.
Yeah, we filmed all day and night. We got in trouble too. We got in big trouble filming.
So did y'all make any money when you made the movie? What'd you do with it?
Okay, so this is how we made money on that movie. First, we spent our money and things, putting it together.
First thing about entrepreneurs, you got to spend your money.
Yeah.
Then try to get it back.
Yeah,
right?
because we needed to rent this and we needed that. We got some clothing. We had to get wardrobe and props and stuff like that. So we spent our own money on that. Then we edited. That was our own time we had to spend to edit that. And then I got a deal with Celebration Cinema. That was the cinema in our town. And so I knew some of the senators. It was one, she was the commissioner of Kentwood. Her name was Betsy Arts. She was the plug for the theater. And we had a theater called Studio 28. And they tore it down just a few years ago. But that was the first place that I met the film people.
So how did you decide how much you was going to charge, when it was going to air?
We did it right in the meeting where I was pitching my ideal to them.
Yeah.
And so I said, I want to do a Hollywood like premiere and show the movie to the city. The whole city gonna come out. I'm on the radio,
Right.
I'm on TV. Here
For
go the
free?
trailer.
They was coming for free?
Mm-mm.
Oh, they gonna have
No.
to pay.
Yeah,
So they can
that's
see
why I
the
want-
trailer all over. Okay.
Yep. So we was promoting on the radio,
Yep.
and then we had the meeting, and they loved the idea. I mean, they came around. It was like great presentation. I said,
Yeah.
"This ain't a presentation."
This the real deal.
I was just telling y'all what I want to do, but if I could come back and do a presentation, I'm really good at those too. But we end up with a 50-50 deal, and then we just charge regular prices plus $10 because it's a premiere where
Yeah.
the stars of the movie is gonna be, and people in the neighborhood start chipping in. I'm talking about my big homies Chris Howard and Danny White, my whole team, my cousins. I got a lot of
Family
cousins.
and friends.
Yeah, and they all chipped in. Chris Howard and Danny White got me a limo, and then they brought all of their cars out. So we had like a convoy
Yeah.
pulled up to the theater, and there was people everywhere. It was
Wow.
like how I envisioned it.
Right.
And I was just newly divorced, so I was kind of insecure. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I was with another woman, and it was just like
Too much.
Yeah, it was good. But we had our own jackets with our names on it. We walked the red carpet,
Nice.
and I watched people watch our movie. I watched people take pictures
So
of
what
us.
was the movie about?
It was this was a Christian movie. It was called Tomorrow's Never Promised. It was a drama about a rap group that just got signed, and one of the people in the group quit the group and started a church. So
Oh,
yeah, so it was big beef.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, big beef in the movie.
So the first movie, did you make money?
Yes, we made we sold 800 tickets to that, and then we did a after party with a concert. We put all the movie props on the stage.
Nice.
And did a concert. We made $20 a head off of that, and then we put it on DVD, and we sold thousands of DVDs.
Wow.
And then it kind of birthed a filmmaker out of that. And I was like, I just did a process from beginning to end, and it was easy.
So how many people shared in the profits of the first movie? How many?
Two.
Just two people.
Yeah.
All right.
Two.
Let's go to the second movie.
Hmm.
Tell me about the second one.
All right. So the second
And you
one,
done made how many movies now?
no, that was just the first one.
Okay. But how many have you done so far today?
53.
53. So
Yeah.
we're gonna skip around, but we're gonna get to the 50 part.
Yeah,
All right.
for sure. Yeah. So,
So tell me about the second movie. Tell me about that one's successful. Tell me about the one that wasn't successful, and tell me why.
well, I think it was the second time I showed the Perfect Romance is where it wasn't as successful as the first time. The first time when we showed it, the news, anytime I'm in Grand Rapids, the news jumps in.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've been lucky, I would say lucky or blessed on that, because the news, they always report on my story.
Yeah.
So,
That just shows that you put in the work. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the deal. And that's
Yeah,
what most
that's
people don't
true.
want to do.
Hometown boy does well.
Yeah, well, I learned everything I do now in Grand Rapids because I tried everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was there for a long time, so I think it was this. I tried to show it in different markets like Muskegon, just outside of Detroit, Lansing. I did it at a different theater in Grand Rapids. I just was thinking more people could see this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some of the times it was only, we only broke even. But I learned from the music side how to keep from owing when I do an event.
And how's that?
Yeah.
For them youngsters that's thinking they're gonna be movie successful
Yeah, so
movie stars.
you got to remember when you're doing an event, you got to pay your DJ, you got to pay everybody. But instead, I came up with a group thing. Hey guys, look, we're all a part of this event. Let's all promote it together, and at the end of the night, you get one, you get one, you get one, you get one, until we run out of money.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that's how I I do my events.
You didn't get 10 and they get 1 and everybody got 1.
Everybody got 1.
All right.
It's all equal.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he introduced it to me, I had never worked that way, and I was just like, wow. Like,
I had fun.
It works out because now you got everybody pushing everybody's brand and everybody who's involved. So now you're building up followers for somebody who probably came to help us that didn't have a lot of followers.
Yeah.
Well, they have access to all of ours now.
Right.
So now they're coming in because we're marketing them, we're marketing what we're doing, they're marketing us. So now we're gaining followers from their side and our side as well.
Yeah, and
That's Mr. Dixon that y'all getting that knowledge from, but we're going to come back to him in a second. Go ahead on.
What I really liked about that process is at the end of the night, we did this.
Yeah. Right around the table.
You know what I mean? I was like, wow.
One for you, one for you, one for him.
So I felt good. They
Right.
felt good. Hey, man.
Okay. Now tell me the movie out of the 53 that you liked the most.
That's
Besides
a
the
good
first one, because we already talked about that one.
My favorite one is the one that just dropped on Tubi. It's called Someone to Love.
Tell us about Tubi. So.
Tubi is a channel where they give black actors and other people a chance to show their products. You know what I mean? And you can watch all kinds of free movies. You can watch Hollywood movies on there too. So I got into The Perfect Romance was on Tubi when Tubi first opened. So when I was promoting my movie, I had to promote Tubi too. I said, hey, watch my new movie. It's on Tubi. What's Tubi? You got to download the app, or you can watch it on the TV, or you can watch it on your channel. You know what I mean? I had to educate along with it. But now it's a $1 billion platform.
Wow.
So
tell me about the movie that's on there.
The movie is called Someone to Love. It's a rom-com, and I star in that movie. So a lot of my first movies, I just played smaller roles. You know what I mean?
Right.
So this was my first time doing a movie all the way through as the star of the movie.
How you think you did, 1 to 10?
Probably about an 8.
Okay.
Probably about an 8, just because now I look at it and say, "Ooh, I could have killed that. I could have killed it." I see so much I could do better, but I just love that. I gave it a shot, and I had fun, and I had a lot of people involved in it. We filmed in Denver, Grand Rapids, Michigan, and in Houston, and so I was able to get a lot of my friends and fellow people who saw the vision. All on that same product. And back then I was saying that was like 2020 and when we filmed that, or 2018.
So how does a movie producer determine if a movie was successful? So how will you know the fact that you made it is success, but financially, how do you determine if it's successful or not? And then these movies, they can run. Do you get residuals like forever, or how does that work?
Just like music. Music every 3 months. Get a payout from the views. That hasn't been my successful point. I think my successful point is the events that I put on, and that's where I win at. But I get a movie out the deal, and then it's a win getting it on Tubi. If people engage and start watching it, then we'll win on the back end. But until then, I'm gonna keep making movies until it hits.
Yeah.
I got 53 shots so far.
Okay. So for you who've made 53 movies, what would be a game changer? What makes it? This is it. I'm gonna be a star. I'm gonna be in Hollywood. What has to happen?
Just having a marketing budget. I think I got everything down to a T. I know how to work with a staff, and I could make a movie in 30 days. Basically, 10 days of production and 20 days of editing, and I kind of got it down to a science with my process. So I just feel like adding a celebrity. Me and Capion was talking about Brian Hooks, say for instance, a star like that who would work with my process. I think that it would grow exponentially.
Okay. So how much credence or credit do you think the name is to the success of the movie? So the guy you speaking of, if you have a no-name person versus that kind of name, is that worth $1 million, $5 million, $10 million in the movie sales, or what?
I feel like on the front end is where when we do the event. So I created an event called the casting event. This is where I get them to sign their talent release. I take a photo shoot of them. We let them audition if they want to audition, and we shoot a scene in the actual event. And so you pay to come to an event. You don't pay to audition. You pay to come to the event. And at that event, that's going to get you IMDb credit, because why? I filmed a scene with you in it, right there. Okay. So that's the event.
What is IMDb?
So IMDb is the database that Hollywood uses to keep track of their workers, actors.
So they all
producers.
Belong to the Actors Guild? Do they have to join that, or no? Not required.
A lot of people that is winning from what I'm doing is people whose first time is in the movie. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because now they're learning how to, do the scenes, and we're working with them on an improv type basis, and then most people that go through my process end up getting on a bigger platform, such as I want to shout out Nisha Nichols. She was in The Perfect Romance. She worked with HBO now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And she's a millionaire. So.
Nice.
And her first movie was mine.
You get invested in your movies?
Hey, Nisha,
send some money
about your boy.
Send some money, homie.
You know what I'm saying? Don't forget about your boy. Put you on the big screen, baby.
So tell me what's your next goal?
Well, my major goal is 100 movies. So I'm at 53 right now. My goal is to do a movie a month. So I'm working on
write and film and do everything, a movie a month.
Yes.
Wow.
Writing is the easy part of what I do, because I have a writer. Her name is Andrea Tyler. Everything she wrote went on Tubi immediately. So it was like magic. Then AI came along. So between AT and AI, I got the writing things down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So people come with me with scripts all the time. It just got to be a good story that that inspires me to want to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So.
One more question.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody says, I want to be a filmmaker, film producer, what can they expect after writing and producing the way you have? Not 53, but say 5. What should they look to make? Range. Give me a range.
Oh, of how many
annual
films?
Salary? No, money.
Oh, money.
Now, is that can be cash flow from the people watching the movie, renting the movie, and or one time, or however it works? Because I'm going to presume the public don't know how it works, so you got to tell us.
They
so
definitely
I want
don't know
some
how to
kid
work.
listening saying, hell, I don't want to be an athlete. I want to be a movie producer. You make that much money?
Well, yeah, you could. It's unlimited what you can make. On the front end is the events again. I keep bringing that up.
That's the gravy.
Yeah,
icing on the cake.
Yeah, because it's just that's black and white. You know what I mean? That person pays, and you know what I'm saying. There you go. Now, when you come to a lot of people in the film industry is fighting for their checks. I'm talking about. That's why Hollywood is striking right now. They was actually getting paid, but they want more.
Right.
As independent, you got to go make that happen. So like when I put out a movie, I promote it till the day I die. I ain't gonna stop promoting it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But a lot of people make the movie and be like,
that's it.
You know,
moving on.
You got to work that. You got to work it.
Right.
And you got a product now, so you got to sell it.
So you want to get some advice before we move on to Mr. Dixon here?
Yeah, get my book. It's called McCoy Film.
You done wrote a book too?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, you hiding information. How the public don't? How many books you done wrote now?
Well, this is my second book.
Really?
My second book.
All right, tell us about the book. We gotta spend some more time now.
Yeah, the first book I wrote was 5 Steps to Success. That was just my what I was doing because everybody was thinking I'm successful, and I'm like, well, this is what I did.
Yeah, okay, tell us the 5.
I don't even remember. I wrote it so long ago.
Tell me the ones you remember.
Exercise. That's
exercise,
a major key.
The business or your body?
Your body.
Really?
You got to exercise.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
That's important to stay alive. Health is wealth.
That's a fact.
So the next thing is persistence. Mm-hmm. You got to be persistent.
Never quit.
Yeah.
I agree with that one.
Mm-hmm. And be creative. That's one thing I did.
Yep.
It was just being more creative every time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If you watch my movies, you'll see I'm getting better and better at it.
Okay.
Always keep learning, education. That was one of them.
Yep.
For sure.
I agree with that too.
That's why I go to Full Sail University, and I graduated in February with my bachelor's.
February of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
You graduated from college?
2024. Yeah.
Oh, you're going to graduate?
Yeah, I'm going to
Okay.
graduate.
But you've already seen it, so it didn't already happen. You just waiting on 24 to come. To catch up. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, I got my experience first, and then
Yeah.
I got my express knowledge from college.
Okay,
University. So,
Yeah.
and
That made
it's
college a
taken
lot
me-
easier, didn't it?
It
'Cause
made
you
it
could tell the
easier.
professor, I might not agree with you because you don't have real life. I got practical and real life. You got book and theory.
But luckily, my teachers all work in Hollywood.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, MTV. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They got some big companies, and they
Okay.
make big films. So like learning
Is that
from them
online
is
or
great.
is that in person?
It's online.
Online, okay.
Yeah.
And how many folks in the class? Or
It's about 40 people per class.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Yep.
and how long is that taking?
This is gonna be my second year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And of
so
course,
2
that's help
years.
you make better films, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I started making them better immediately when I started
Yeah.
school because I learned the terms and how to just work, just everything. It just
Yeah.
made me better. It just made,
All right.
yeah. So
All
I
right.
feel like I'm getting to the point of mastery now.
Any parting words before we go on to Mr. Dixon here?
Yeah, watch my movies on Tubi. Just type my
And
name.
read my books.
Yeah.
What was the second book? You didn't tell us about
the
that.
second book is called McCoy Film School. It's how to make a movie in 30 days.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. All right.
Mhm.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Right here, from Through My Lens, from Through His Lens, the filmmaker, film producer. And we'll be right back with you through my lens to talk to Jayson Dixon, entrepreneur. Hang in there.
No, boy, you gonna make me look bad. I don't do none of that.
You do all the
You need
behind
to change the cameras, or we ready? All right. All right. Welcome back. Welcome back to Through My Lens. Yes, it is Through My Lens, and we have an entrepreneur, consultant, and marketing guru, Mr. Jayson Dixon, here live in Las Vegas at the radio station. Mr. Dixon, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Jayson Dixon. My company is called Promote Until Something Happens, or Push for short. What we are is a small business consulting and marketing firm.
Okay.
So what we do is I didn't want to look at corporations when I stepped out on my own. I wanted to look at everyday people like Mo. If you wanted to start a barbershop, start your own hairline, things like that I saw as
Wait a minute. What's your own hairline? You can make a business out of cutting a hairline?
Yeah.
No
Not
way.
a hairline, but
Oh.
if you want to be able to sell your own weave, because
Oh.
men get weave too. Let's talk
Yeah.
about it.
Men get weave?
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, I didn't know that yet.
Not me. Not me.
Not us.
I grew this.
Yeah, weave too. Some people are bald out there, but they got it hooked up. So just understand that now. But if you want to start your own hairline, start your own T-shirt company, clothing brand, things like that, I was looking at most people in small businesses did not have the funding that it took to
That's
get
right.
you there.
That's
But
right.
why should they be cheated of the knowledge
Right.
just because they don't have 50K or above?
Right.
Let's bring it down to their level. Hey, what do you make every day? What can you afford?
Got to know your break even.
Right.
If you don't know your break even,
So-
you're going to be in trouble.
With the company that I created, we come to you and give you a questionnaire. You fill that out. You tell us. It tells us what you've already done
Okay.
to help your brand. Because most people who come to me, they've already built a logo or started buying the
Right.
products and selling it as if you were hustling.
Right.
What we do is take that knowledge and say, hey, we're going to show you how to turn it over into a business.
So how many questions is your survey?
About 24.
Okay, so I'm gonna come back to that, but
Okay.
I wanna go back to when you was a kid, where you grew up, how you grew up, and how you ended up morphed into your own business.
Oh man, that's my personal story.
Yeah, that's good. That's all right.
So I'm from Kansas City originally, born and raised. My dad got drafted by the Cowboys.
Oh, he's a pro football player?
He was.
What's his
He
name?
died in Marcus Dixon. He died in 2020 Thanksgiving. He was an assistant coach when he passed.
Okay, what position did he play?
He played running back.
What years was he there?
72 through 76 is what I remember.
Okay,
I was still young. I was born in 76. So.
okay, all right, so you was a baby, okay.
But my
So what
uncle
memories
Jay-
you got of him?
I have a lot. My dad, we had all his uniforms. Every time he changed
Nice.
jerseys, helmets, we used to play in the backyard with him. But I come from a football family, so Jesse Penn, Herschel Walker, Kevin Brooks.
Herschel Walker, I'd like to talk about him, but I know him, but you know, the Senate thing. But anyway, so Herschel's part of y'all family?
Yeah, so he married into one of my aunties.
Okay.
Then when they did that big trade he was playing for the Cowboys and they traded him to Minnesota.
Right.
All my cousins and came from that deal to Dallas.
Okay.
So it was kind of like a big thing.
So your father, you got any other members? Who else you say in your family?
Kevin Brooks, Jesse Penn.
Who's Jesse? What
Jesse Penn played safety during the 73 through 79.
Okay.
And then Kevin Brooks got brought over he was the youngest. We had my cousin James Dixon, which would have been the youngest when Michael Irvin was retiring. They brought in a receiver, James Dixon, but he died. He was coming from the CBA in Canada.
Yeah.
And the truck driver ran him and his family off the mountain.
Wow.
He would have been the latest one.
So you come from a family of athletes, professional athletes.
Yeah.
How you start playing basketball instead of football then?
I didn't like to get hit. But look though,
I understand.
I was a star in football too.
You were?
Yeah, I played quarterback.
Okay.
So, but
in high school or just
high
Paul Warner?
school, just high school.
Okay.
High school and all the way up to high school. One day in high school, I went to take a snap. We was in practice.
All right.
I went to take a snap, and my linebacker hit me so hard, I was knocked out for a day.
Not a minute, not an hour. You lost the whole day. God dang.
And from that point,
no mas.
I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
But I had a coach who was like he coached football, basketball, and track.
Okay.
He was assistant principal and he coached all three.
Nice.
So he was like, if you don't play all three, you can't play one. So he didn't allow me to quit, which I'm grateful that he
Yes, that's right.
Because if
that
you don't
mentality.
play that football, all three of those sports work together if you understand them.
Yep.
Football makes you strong enough to play all three.
Yep.
Gives you the endurance.
Yep.
I took that from football, basketball, just was like, hey, I'm already in shape. I've been working out since here. Now we're running. And track works for all three.
What'd you do in track?
The 200, 400, 4x1, and 4x4.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So you wasn't the fastest, but you was like the third or fourth fastest.
I was, when you talk about the 400, I was the fastest.
You was the fastest in the 400.
Yeah.
I remember in high school, I thought I could run shit. We had some jackrabbits.
My brother,
I wasn't even on the track team. That's how fast they was.
My brother was the 100 meter. Like, he can get out the blocks real quick.
Right.
He wasn't that tight, but on the 200, I got you.
You had him, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so from high school, so did y'all win state championship?
Yeah, I won 3 state championships in
3?
football, 2 in basketball, and 2 in track.
Oh, my God. You was the man. Highly
I
recruited?
wasn't. Nope.
No? Why not?
Late bloomer.
Late
I
bloomer.
didn't play basketball I didn't start playing basketball until I think I was 8th grade. When I used to play with my dad and them every day, like we would play in the gym, but I never wanted to play competitive.
Yeah.
And because we grew up in Kansas City, you didn't really play sports. You hung out in the streets. Like, I come from the mud. I come from, my homeboys didn't play football, so we all just hung out in the streets and did whatever.
Right.
It was when my mom and dad started moving us around that we actually
That was best.
Started getting into it, and then you see other people. It's like what you said with Mo. You see other people doing it, and you're like, oh, well, let me move over this way rather than running with y'all. Now, school's looking more, I want to get better grades because now I got a purpose.
That's right.
And
That's right.
in Kansas City, you didn't, look, we skipped school. I can tell you right now, I was just talking with my girlfriend the other day. I would skip school and go hang out with my cousin, but be a straight A student because I would do all the work, just not go to class.
That's right. Yeah.
Like, turn the work in, come in there, take the test, but the minute they said skip, we was like, oh, we gone.
Yeah.
So when they moved us into the richer part of Dallas, which was called which was Carrollton at the time, it wasn't no other cities there. It was just Carrollton, and we were the only, it was just me, my brother, and 2 other black people.
Wow.
Maybe.
In the whole school?
And it was 5 of us because it was 1 black girl in the whole school. That was it.
And that was probably best for you.
Yeah, and I saw how everybody went to class and saw them moving around compared to back home. We all skipping.
Hanging out.
They was like, skip. Like, man, I'm going to class. Like, what you talking? So I was like, okay, let me go to class.
Yeah.
But I didn't start playing sports because I had to get my grades back up, get back in. But once me and my brother stepped out on the football field, basketball, it was just like, wow.
Nice.
Let's make it happen.
All right. So then what happened? So after high school?
So after high school, went to the University of Nebraska, stayed there for a couple years, but then transferred to a college called Wayne State. It was better.
Oh yeah, I know Wayne State.
Smaller.
Black school.
Yep, it was smaller
Yeah.
for me.
How was that experience?
It was
Come from
great.
Kansas City, probably like going home, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great experience. So it was like, but as I got there, I didn't really finish school at that time. Just
Yeah.
kind of
Hanging out again?
Nope, got to
Okay.
working. Like I told you before, got to work and Nextel hired me, and I was making more money with them than I was in school. And I was just
Right.
like, well, hold up. And then as I got more and more involved with them, I kind of rose up the ladder really quick because
Yeah.
my type of personality is you don't have to tell me a lot twice. Once you say it, I got it.
Yeah.
And I understand how to run with it.
Yeah.
So-
Let me ask you, do you think you have an addictive personality? Meaning, when you find something you like, you just
Yes.
can't get enough of it?
Yes.
What about you, Mo? You think you got an addictive personality or no?
Not quite.
I think
Yeah.
you,
I got one.
I think
Same.
you have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
And to do what we do, you kind of have to because it takes a lot of dedication to do what we do now.
Yeah.
But back then, like you said, I didn't see it that way. I
Right.
just saw coming from the hood and coming from a story prior to telling you this. My mom went to jail. My dad and mom separated, and I went back to Kansas City.
Right.
And then she moved me from Kansas City to Nebraska.
Right.
And then moving me to Nebraska, 6 months later, she goes to jail.
Right.
So it left me and my sister on the street. So that personality you're talking about,
Yeah.
somebody taught me how to do some illegal things
That's
that I
right.
learned really quick.
Yeah.
Because before then, I didn't know what drugs was. Had
Right.
no idea, no nothing. Because my
Right.
parents kept us sheltered.
Yeah.
But as soon as a problem came up, it was like, hey, we gotta eat.
Yeah.
Hey, we gotta live
Gotta
somewhere.
survive. Yep.
So somebody taught me how to make it, do
Yeah.
it, and I organized a team. I was like, hey, I can't do this by myself. Hey, I need y'all help.
Yeah.
And then that's how I got my close knit of friends. We
Right.
all worked together. We lived by rules. My older people
Yeah.
that I dealt with, they taught us rules.
You know what they call that?
What's that?
Gangs.
Yep.
And the government call them distributors.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm with you on that one.
But we understand, right?
Yeah,
That's right.
So, but I credit this when I talk to people because at the end of the day, without that, I probably wouldn't be the entrepreneur that I am.
That's
because
right.
those people who come from those generations, from that era, we're taught business. We just don't understand that
Yeah.
it's business.
Yeah.
We
That's
think
right.
that we're doing it for survival, but really, and I tell everybody credit to God that He was teaching me skills that I didn't ever know I was going to need.
That's right.
Once I got with Nextel, though,
Yeah.
those skills came into play because now.
Well, let's talk about that. Nextel. So they hire a young African American
Yep.
to help with their startup.
Yep.
Okay,
19
what
years
happens
old.
then?
So I come in as what they call a CSR. Customer service rep. So it's basically like when you call in on the phone and they say, "Oh, I can only I can only help you with the telephone, but let me transfer you over here for tech support, or let me transfer you over here for billing." I was all of that in one office.
Okay.
But I wasn't working with day-to-day people like you guys. I was working with the CEOs, the presidents, the VIPs, the people who had say in the business that could not go without a phone.
Yeah.
Because if they went without a phone and couldn't get in touch, a business deal wouldn't go through.
That's right.
So I was the person that sat back. I had access to everybody's information, everybody's phone. If they was in another country and lost a phone, all I had to do was wake up, go to my locker that they put in my house. I had a bunch of lockers in my house in school on the campus that just had all their devices. So the minute you tell me that you lost your device, I turn it on, plug it up, throw it in a package, call FedEx, they came and picked it up.
Nice.
But that let me have a lot of conversations with these people.
Yeah.
And understand
Which built your skill level and your skill set.
Exactly. Who taught me how to think and taught me to want to proceed. And I'm
Yeah.
coming from the
And
street.
inventory.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming from the street, so I'm like, man, and then I'm setting up grids for the FBI at the same time. I'm telling you, I'm doing what I'm doing over
Right,
here.
right.
So now I'm like, hey guys, I know where they're gonna be at. I know what they're doing. Like, moving around. And so I'm the man right now. I go, hey, move, 'cause they coming. Like
right.
I'm hearing them on there because I set up the grids.
Yeah.
That way they can communicate with each other. And if
Yeah.
you know how to walkie-talkie work, I could set it up to say only you and Mo can talk to each other.
That's right. Yeah.
And nobody else can get in on that line because
Yeah.
the radios were private.
Yeah.
So but
Tied to the phone.
right,
Yeah.
the radios
That's
were
right.
private. So a lot of people a lot of drug dealers use Nextel because we just talking through the walkie-talkie
That's right.
because you can't hack it.
Yep.
But what we had on our side, I could set up the grid and throw my number in that grid, and now I can hear all their conversations.
So that helped teach you how to build a structure.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So now you take that, and then they start another company, right? That you go to work for. Tell us about that.
Nextel gets sold to a company called Verizon. Verizon was small back then; they're not as big as they were now.
Giant now.
Southwestern Bell.
Yep.
And then they turned around, but I didn't work for the telecom. I got brought in, told that I could move to Dallas because my general manager became the CFO.
Nice.
For this new startup.
Always good to know somebody, huh?
He called me up. He said, "Hey, you're looking for a job?" I said, "I don't want to work for Sprint." I had turned down a management position at Sprint. I was like, "I don't want to work for them. I'd rather just go back to school and do whatever I got to do." He said, "Nope, I got a position for you." He said, "You can live anywhere you want to live." Of course, my family was still in Dallas. My brothers, my sisters. I was like, "I want to go to Dallas."
Yeah.
So right off of, if you know, in Texas, right off of Beltline and 635, there was the Super Pages building. I ran that whole building. We set up software. It was the beginning times of the internet. Yellow Pages started to go online, so no more phone books. So we're calling all these businesses, "Hey, you want to get on the internet? You want to do this? Let us help you market. This is what the price is going to be." Just all that. So from there, I learned marketing, and I learned sales, and I learned how to organize. And to make this so funny, when I wanted to start my own business, the CEO would not let me leave. He would not let me resign because he kept asking me one simple question. He kept saying, "How are you going to really help your customers?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna help them market. I'm gonna do the same thing you do here." Not understanding that Verizon has its own printing shops.
Yeah.
They had their own marketing division. They had their own everything.
Yeah.
So when I would go into businesses, so the way we had it set up, let's say, Mo, I come into Fireproof Films, and you have somebody that handles your HR, you have somebody that handles your billing, right? Well, I got a specialist that's just specifically for billing.
Yeah.
So he sits down with your billing person, and he goes over the billing and show them how to do it better and help save you money.
Yeah.
My HR person do the same thing. Say you're the CEO, though.
Yeah.
And I come in and I sit down with you, and we talk about the dream of the business, where we want to go, set up a business plan, things like that.
Yeah.
What I didn't understand, and the part, even though I had all those components down, the part I didn't get was this extra component of owning everything. So when that customer pays you, you're not spending no money. You're just saying, "Print up these shirts for them." So I sat down with my marketing director and I said, when we go into a company, because at this time we were working on a company called Tango out of Austin. I said, when Tango, it used to be Track Wireless, but then it transferred over to Tango. I said, when we went in and transferred Track to Tango, where did the T-shirts come from? Where did the hats, the pins, all that stuff that you use for branding, where did that come from? Because it wasn't in none of my budget reports.
Yeah, that's
he was like, "Jayson, we own it.
That's right.
We just print it up for them. It's part of their package when they pay."
Yeah.
I was
so
like,
let me ask a question. So, what's the guy's name? I can't never remember his name. The singer who went from a billionaire to few hundred million, $500 million now. No, the dude that
R. Kelly?
no, that didn't own nothing. Stizzy, the shoe guy. What's the name? The rapper, married to the Kardashian girl.
Kanye West?
Kanye West.
Okay.
Yeah, lies the Kanye West problem.
Right.
That you understand because you work, like you say, you saw, they taught you, you learned. Kanye is not the manufacturer.
No.
Your company was the manufacturer with the platform.
Yes.
They owned everything down the line from creation to distribution to the end user. What they needed help with was getting the customer.
Yes.
But everything down the line they got paid on.
Yes.
That's what Kanye didn't get. That's what a lot of our entrepreneurs don't get.
That's good.
If we get a chance, we need to go back to the root from the beginning. We own it and own everything in between to the end.
Exactly. So, and it's funny you say that because when so it brings me to 2008.
Okay.
2008, I come into my office. I normally read Forbes every day, and my assistant brought it in.
That's another nugget. Y'all need to read Forbes every day. You can go online and read it.
Forbes is going to tell you a lot that you don't know, a lot that we don't see that happens on the back end, right? So we go into, I go into Forbes, I'm reading an article, I'm sitting at my desk. I normally do it before I go into my meetings. And in one article, it specifically said in December of 2008, it said there will be more entrepreneurs than there will be corporate people trying to stay with corporations, roughly. What they meant by that was, now I don't know if they knew the pandemic was coming or any of that, because it actually happened. It actually became true in 2020. But what I saw from that was, why are we steady looking at the Walmarts and we're steady helping them build, and we're steady looking at all these bigger companies when we're about to have a floodgate of small entrepreneurs?
Yep.
Why can't we build a system that works for them to say, hey, whatever you make, we want to work your budget off, pay us monthly based on what we put there. It may take longer for you to build, but at least you're getting the things built correctly to help you succeed.
Yeah.
I wrote the plan down. My whole business plan was built around this. So I wrote it down, did everything I had to do, presented it to the board for them to reject me. Now, I'm only 22 at the time, so rejection hurts. It's like,
it was personal. Y'all don't believe in me. Put me in, coach. What you mean you ain't going to put me in?
So with that, I turned around and I took the plan like a little kid, went back to my office. I'm pouting, like, whatever. I don't want to work the rest of the day.
Yep.
My CEO then called me up, took me out to eat, and we said, I'm going to talk. He said, you had a great idea, it just didn't work our model. That doesn't mean you shouldn't pursue it.
Right.
So that's what brings me to when I told you 2009, I was like, okay, I'm going to put this together. I went through, did all the marketing, put everything together, started reaching out to people who own print shops, trying to get third-party deals, when I realized I don't want a third-party deal. Because if you mess up, then it hurts me. If you don't provide, then it hurts me. So I had to go, I luckily, by God's blessing, I met a gentleman. He's passed away now. It's about 6 years since he died. His kids did not want to take over his print shop.
Okay.
He was making almost, and guys, this is for real, he's making almost $1 million a year in printing.
Wow. Because
he had all the DISD schools and all the low main companies using him for mass printing and marketing, things like that. They did not want to take it over. He sold the whole thing to me and my partner for $250,000.
Wow.
Just because he didn't want his kids to, if you're not going to use it, don't waste it.
Yeah.
Understanding that if something sits empty, the government has a right to come and take it, especially if they're trying to rebuild. He sells it up to us for $250,000. He kept 10% of the business. I didn't know anything about printing. I went to a friend of mine out of Nebraska. His name is Jayson as well. We named the company B&B Printing. I flew him and his wife down, me and my partner. We had dinner with him. I said, and I shocked him. I said, hey, I need you to sign these papers. But it was an LLC for B&B Printing saying that, hey, we keep 51% of the business right now. Once we get our deposit and our profits back plus 10%, then it changes over to you. And we just own 49%. You can't sell it because it meets our business needs.
Right. Now, who's we?
Meaning,
you and the old.
At the time, it was just me.
All right. But
we
sound better. I got you.
We sound a whole lot better when people think you're doing something when you say we, and that's something I teach. Stop
that's right.
I'm
the same way.
Because you say
I don't get you nowhere.
Right.
If you say, we in Western. That was my old high school.
Right. If you say people look at you like I'll never get it done, and that's why people don't come work with you. So from there, he started the printing service. Then I met a young lady, her name Daphne Curry. She was doing t-shirt printing out of her house. When I tell y'all out of her house, when most people say that, they got the little print machine.
Yeah.
She had big machines in her living room, printing embroidery, t-shirt. Hold up, I got a whole warehouse for you. Why are you in here? What other machines do you need? And so she handles the t-shirt side. Then I met a person who can help me out with all the branding stuff, the cups, the flash drives, the things that we want to hand out and give away for free, but we got to get them at a cheap cost. I met him. He hooked me up with a service called 41 Imports. And they said, hey, come on in, white label with us. Don't cost you nothing, just bring customers. That was the best thing I could ever did. Yeah. Because now I can offer you stuff that people will go on to other places and spend a fortune on. Now these would probably cost you 80 cents, but you got to buy 1,000 of them. You should be wanting to do that. Right. You get 1,000 of them, you're not going to hand them all out at once. It's going to take you months to do that. Just now you got them, and you got to keep ordering them. Yep. From there, I started getting out. So to get to where you were talking about, when we talked about the power of free. Yeah. I got out as they were handling all my back end. Oh, my web server guy was next. I met up with him. He said, I can build you. I got 8 CPU units. I could build you 8 servers right now. And I was like, no, you can't. I was like, how much you gonna charge me? He said, just because you don't believe in me, $1,000. Within a month, he had those 8 servers up and running.
Now, what did 8 servers mean to you? And why did you agree to that?
8 servers meant that I don't have to go to GoDaddy to get websites built. I don't have to go to Wix to get websites built, meaning 8 servers that I can put on mine, control them, run them, and create my own residual from the server space.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time, everybody was buying into, it was one called Alligator or something, it was something Alligator, and they would offer a deal that you could sell the server space for $99. You just pay them $99 a month. You have your own back office, sell the server space to whoever you want, and you collect the money.
Right.
But that didn't make sense to me because I used to see them go down a lot and break down a lot, and then your customers calling you
complaining,
and you can't do nothing about it.
Yep.
Except for pick up a phone and call the same people they could have called.
Right.
So that's where that came into effectiveness for me, because once I pulled those components together, I took my own money, started hitting the road. This is where I met Mo.
So when did you leave the corporate world?
I left January the 15th of 2009.
Was that hard to do?
It was.
Because you had income coming in.
And I had no income.
And now you want to hustle. You want your own business, but you know when you leave, you won't give up that guaranteed money.
Yep. So from there to create that, though, what I did was my grandma. So my grandma, my foster grandma in Texas, my granddad had died.
Okay.
He gambled, right?
Yep.
While I was working for Verizon, I was here in Vegas. I get a call from my uncle, hey, they're putting your grandma out of her house. At the time, I had just bought a house in Dallas, and I said, well, just take her to my house and I'll fly in on the red eye. So they packed up everything, took her to my house. Well, my house, even though it was a 5-bedroom, it got overcrowded really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Because my grandma was the person who watched other people's kids.
Yeah.
But then my uncle said, well, he stayed with her, so he moved in.
Oh, I know
so
how
now
that
I'm
is.
coming home to, okay.
House full of people.
Now I can work from home because I had the biggest bedroom with closing doors. They had sliding doors, so I could work in there. But then one day I was out working, and my grandma called me, and she kept asking me questions like, hey, where do I get the forms to adopt? And I'm like, well, I'll send them to you. And then she was like, well, how do I set up a business? So I sent her the forms. And she was like, well, where do we go find a private person because we don't want to go through the states? Now, I'm thinking that the family is coming together. They about to propose a business deal to me. She literally was turning my house into to a group home.
Oh, Lord.
Because I got a couple of nephews and nieces that are autistic.
Yeah.
And so she was watching them and was like, why wouldn't we make
Get
money
paid
off
off.
of it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I came home one day and I had 15 kids in my house.
You kidding me?
She was
Neighbors
like,
complaining or no?
Nope. She was like, we got to get bunk beds. It's in a nice neighborhood, so they're
Yeah.
used to stuff like this. So we had to go get bunk beds. I even had to tear down because in a group home, if you understand, you cannot have closed walls from the kitchen to the living room. You have to be able to see straight through.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go pay somebody to cut the wall out.
Wow.
So that they can see
An opening. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like a lot of work that had to be done. That's how I learned how to build group homes. Well, I had some income coming from that, but really I had a good savings, and from my former life, I had put a lot of money away because 13 years old, you can't really spend a lot of money.
Right.
And people not ask questions.
That's
so
right.
It's just kind of like, hey,
Yeah.
put this over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
I started traveling. I talked to the people who came on board with me, and I had other people helping that just wanted to be a part.
Mm-hmm.
They were in the music business because I started this out in the music business. My brothers and them are Grammy-winning engineers, and they came to me and they were like, we got these artists, and nobody wants to book them because they don't really know them because they haven't really performed. And I was like, well, what y'all want me to do? Like, I don't do what y'all do. They was like, no, we found a perfect club. It was called the Paradise Club in Deep Ellum. And they were like, the lady said $500 and we can use her stage, and we just got to put a $500 bar guarantee. I'm thinking, so in my mind, business-wise, I'm like $500.
Yeah.
Charge everybody
Multiple.
$10 to get in.
Yep.
Charge the girls $5. Like the artists, they don't have to pay. They just got to bring 5 people. Okay, great. When I get there on Thursday, because I travel Sunday through Thursday. I get there on Thursday, we're gonna go meet with her.
All right.
Put down the $500. But she thought I was gonna come and do like everybody else. Or I'm gonna put this $500 down. I said, if I put this down, and you're telling me it's a bar guarantee,
What's the
then
guarantee?
I should be able to give out $500 worth of drinks
Yeah.
for free. So that gave extra marketing to me on the flyers. First 50 people come in, you get 2 shots on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that brought more people. All I'm seeing is the money. But
That's
my
right.
brothers, they just wanted the entertainment. Unfortunately, they were married. They wanted to just get away from their wives for a little bit. I'm not going to call them out. Just understand that. So me, One day I got there, I flew in late, so I got there Friday morning, so I wasn't able to be at the club on time. I get there, this is how we fell out. We get there, and there's over 300 models in the club, guys.
Nice.
Like, because we had a model group wanting to do a casting call,
Uh-huh.
but my brothers didn't charge none of the models, not a one. I said, even if y'all would have charged them $2, we would have won.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, yep, y'all just here to play, and I don't have time for this. This is
Yeah.
why I was still working. So when I walked away, my brothers them called me up. My brother Dame actually is the one who created the name of my business, because he called me up. I totally got away from him, didn't care about the artist.
Yeah.
But while I was there, I was helping the artists about their CDs, because I hated when artists would come up to me with a CD that was written on with a Sharpie and be like, give me $5. Like, for what? I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's on this.
Yeah.
And so I started teaching them how to brand, put their album cover, put their look together. This is why people will buy your music. Let's be real. We buy with our eyes before we ever hear what you do, what you say, or anything like
Yep.
that. That's just what we do. We don't know. A Mercedes can look great. You don't know the problem with it until you get it home.
That's
and you're
right.
like, oh, shoot. So I taught them that, and then when I left, a lot of people started calling my brother like, hey, I need your brother. Can you call him, because I want to talk to him about building my website, talk to him about this and that. And my brother called me and said, you should start a business. I said, well, I already got one that I'm looking at. I just don't know the name of it yet. And he was like, Push. And I was like, man, Push is already out there, because if you remember in 2009, it was always saying pray until something happens. Well, the school I went to in Nebraska was a Catholic school. So we had to, the Bible was 600 hours before you graduate. That's how many hours you had to put into religion. So, I mean,
I went to Catholic school too. You too, right? No? Oh, you Protestant? Oh.
I went. It was a private school, but it was, you had to go to religion every
Right,
day.
that's right.
That was
Up and down in the Catholic.
Wherever the school got 2 electives, you just got one. Religion was your other elective. No
That's
matter
right.
what. So you either did it religion and sports, or you did religion and whatever else. But so I used to always tell people, like, people that saying was wrong. They're missing the big part of it, because they would be like, pray until something happened. I'm like, no, the back end of that is faith without works is dead.
That's fact.
So in my mission statement, it says we live off the premise of James 2:26, that faith without works is dead. So while you're praying for God to make something happen, just pay us to do the work.
Yeah.
And so then I jumped out, started running across the country, helping anybody and everybody for free. Well, what they thought was for free.
Yeah.
What I did was, I call it hardware and software. If it's something that I can do that does not cost any extra money, paperwork, logo, design work, then I was doing it for you to help you get out. But then I was making my money by saying, but you need this stuff, you need the banners, you need this, you need everything that I see around you right now. You understood the need for it, right? So now that's where I made my money, on the back end.
Okay. That was through the printing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Printing, development, web development, all that.
Right.
And every year, so after the first year, I got tired of traveling, and I said, guys, I'm gonna build a website, and I'm only gonna charge people $3 a month, and they can get all of our services. And my team was like, what? What is $3? I said, no, just our services, not our printing. Just our services, not our web servers, nothing, just what we do. That year we made $275K. I try to teach people that you can charge, no millionaire charges $3,000 a day.
Right.
Right? Money rolls downhill, right? Well, from the bottom up. Because when a company opens, you have to figure out what you're going to pay the employees, then you got to figure out the managers, then you got to figure out this. By the time you see a dime, you're probably only looking at maybe $3 to $5 off every product sold. So if you understand that, that's why I don't want to say this, but if you look at Pornhub, that's why they make $30 million a month off $1. Hey, pay $1, I'm going to give you 30 days. You know how many people do that every month for them? That's why they're the biggest, really talk. They're a billionaire company.
They charge $1?
$1 for you to come in for 30 days and look at everything they got.
Wow.
And then here's the key, though. Most people will forget that they signed up for this free trial. So now you're paying them $40 every month after that. And I looked at that and I said, that's a great way to do it. So I say $3 entry, and then after that, $24.99 for our services. And most people just like, but they love the fact that they could call to say, hey, I need a legal document drawn up. That, got you. What does it have to say? Give me the names that go into it. Send the question. Everything that we got has a questionnaire so we can understand what you exactly need. Even building your logo. we send a questionnaire out to you. We want to know your colors, show us some images, give us some thoughts, because you didn't design this off of you just waking up one day saying, oh, I like this. You saw something over here, you saw a color over here, and said, hey, can we bring these together? And a true designer. So we kind of became different in that aspect because we ask questions compared to a Fiverr who says, well, just tell us your idea and we'll put something together for you. I want to know, our brand is, we want to know exactly what you want, because that's where you're going to make it work and you're going to put the work into it to do it.
Nice. Okay, so now what are you doing today? You have a couple businesses. I don't know if you want to talk about them in detail, but
I have a couple of investments.
Investments. All right. Now tell the people the difference between investment and business. That's a good point.
Business is something that I own and I'm a part of. The investments are the things like the restaurants, because people don't believe that your equity. How can I say this? Money doesn't always have to be your investment. Sometimes your work, just like when you go to job, you invest, you put your equity in, and they pay you what you get out of it.
Yeah.
So a lot of things that I do for the restaurant industry is my equity. They don't have time to get out there to pass out the flyers or do the marketing or design the marketing. So my team comes in and say, hey, let's get it out there for you. Let's do this, let's do that. With that, they either they pay us a monthly or they give us a percentage of the company. So that's the difference between the investments and the marketing. There's some things that I do, we just invest our money in. Like with Mo's movies, stuff like that. Hey, what do you need? What's the cost? Da da da. And here's my return.
Right. So if a business person who's watching this saying, I just can't get over the hump, what have you seen that is the number one problem that small business, small African American businesses, small ethnic businesses, everybody say they don't have the money for marketing, they don't have the money for a lawyer, they don't have the money for a CPA. I say if you don't have that money, you shouldn't be in business.
Exactly.
So with them two said, what advice could you give them for free, because they going to get a nugget for watching for their marketing?
So some things that I tell people is watch how you budget your money. Everybody says they don't have money for something, right? But you have money to go out to eat if you want to. You have money to go waste on if you have a habit, drinking, weed, whatever. I call them habits because they're not necessary to your life.
Right.
I had to just the other day tell somebody, look, you buy an ounce of weed a week, take that $100 and some and put it back.
Yeah.
And go without for a minute. Maybe buy an eighth, buy a couple blunts.
Yeah. Well, tell them to do that on alcohol. Now, if they need weed, come to Nevada Wellness.
Now, I'll say this. Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you.
I understand.
I'm saying it just because at the end of the day, but he is right. He got a nice center here. I've been looking. Y'all know I don't even smoke. I just walked around here and was like, man, maybe I'm in the wrong realm. But I do tell them, like, if you really wanted to do something, you'll cut costs. You'll become frugal. Some of the richest people I know, they're very, very frugal when they spend.
Yep.
They don't dress up. I tell people, you'll go buy a pair of $200 J's and then claim you don't have money to put into your business.
That's right.
You'll go
get
buy
them nails done, get their hair done.
Versace and I call it a reward system. They want to party now, but think that they deserve a reward at the end, where a real entrepreneur works hard now. That's right. And sacrifices to get the reward later.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. As an entrepreneur, both of you guys, you work every day? You take days off?
Yeah. No, not really.
You take days off?
I get in trouble. She's on here right now.
I don't take days off either.
Yeah, I like working.
What time you wake up? What time you go to bed? On average, every day.
On average, 4 a.m.
Okay.
You probably go to bed about 12 midnight.
So you get 4 hours sleep.
4
so
hours.
They say 8 hours, but you work on 4.
4.
Okay. What about that? What time you wake up? What time you go to bed?
About 4 or 5 hours of sleep.
Okay.
It's random.
Yeah.
It's random, but most of the time I get up, about 7.
So I get up 4:30.
East Coast time.
Out to bed every day. I go to bed about 8:30 and 9 every day.
Oh yeah.
Every day.
That's
and you know what? So here's another question. When I open my eyes, I can't wait to hit the ground.
Exactly.
Because I'm in a hurry to go do what I love to do. You got the same thing?
Exactly.
Yeah,
same
absolutely.
feeling? So
I love what I do.
You love what you do. And it's easy to do it. Right? And think about it. After a certain time, you had the houses and the cars, right? You got the lifestyle you want.
Right.
Now you're doing what makes you happy. Right. And you can give back and change the world and help others that want to be helped, who are willing to listen.
And
Am I right?
one of the things about that is, I tell people every time, don't be afraid to fail. Just because you hit a certain peak of where you had everything, I'll tell you my own personal story, and people that's on here now and Mo, they know I lost a lot 4 years ago,
Yeah.
and I'm building it back up. But in people's eyes, I'm successful because they knew what was before that.
Yeah.
So, but because I understand that failure comes with this,
That's right.
I'm able to get back up and keep going.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. Every 6 months, something gonna happen.
Right.
Now, it's not that you should expect that not to happen. Is when it happens how we deal
Be
with it.
prepared.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So I done had people hack my accounts, driving me crazy. So I closed all of them, and I got a whole bunch of them. So now I got to start over. But I don't know how it happened, why it happened, but I know they under my skin.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can bitch about it, cry about it, moan about it, but I got to be about it. Because if I don't change it, ain't nobody going to change
Change
it.
it, yeah.
Ain't nobody never going to come to save us, are they?
No, I
I'm
don't think
64.
so.
I've been waiting. Ain't nobody showed up on the white horse yet.
Hey,
We got to save ourselves.
I tell everybody I've been on my own since I was 13. I ain't seen nobody come through and be like, I got you.
That's right. Here's your safety net.
Yeah.
Like you get those people, but when you build your true network, when you build your true, what I call friendships, and I don't mean those that talk to you every day because those ain't your real friends. I don't mean those that call you every 5 minutes. They don't care about you, I promise you. I'm talking about those that when you're down and out in the
That's
dirt,
right.
you can pick the phone up and say, hey, bro, you
And
might
they
not
answer.
talk to them in months, years.
Yep.
But when you pick it up, they like, I got you, don't worry about it, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
Or I need you to do something. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't want to fail because we live in a society that says that it doesn't even say that everybody gets successful right now. It shows it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't show you. Nobody shows their back end.
Right.
I have a talk show called Real Talk with Jayson, Dixon, and I talk about that.
Yeah.
I talk about, when I bring my guest on, I talk about, hey, I want to hear your success for this first 15 minutes.
Mhm.
The next 15 minutes, though, I need to know that pain because
Yeah.
people think that Mo just got there.
That's right. Yep.
Nobody talks about, no motivator and motivational
Yep.
speaker
Why?
talks about the 15 years it took for them to get here now.
That's right. Yep. All people saw is Michael Jackson dancing across the stage. They don't remember when he was 12, 11, 13, 14.
Putting that work in, didn't want to do
That's
it.
right.
If they never would have
How
did a
about this
movie
one?
on them, you
How
would have
about
thought
this
he was
one?
successful.
When did you know what your life's purpose is, if you know that now? How old were you when you say, this is what I'm supposed to do?
38.
38. What about you, Mom?
It was in 2014.
Yeah, I think mine was about 7, 8 years ago when I was over in Dominican Republic, and it dawned on me, you know what you're supposed to do? You're supposed to build affordable housing for as many people as you can, because the good Lord say in the good book, the more people you help, the more rewards you get.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
We were just
Like
talking about
that.
that the other day because some people, we go through struggles, and even when I'm struggling, I'm still, hey, what can I do for you? What can I help for you? But I see, the thing is that you see the blessings when you need it.
that's right.
And you don't have to. The blessing is even when you're down, I don't stress, and I don't sit back and be like, oh, what am I going to do, and how is this going to work out? It's like, because I've been a blessing to so many people,
Right.
and I tell people all the time, I have this motto, I don't loan money.
Never.
I'm gonna give it to you, and we're not gonna talk about it again.
Yeah.
The reason why is because I don't want to lose something.
Yeah.
over
Well, I say if you
$1.
want to get rid of people, give them a loan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you won't see them no more.
I value, coming from where I came from,
That's a
I
good
value
idea.
relationship.
Mhm.
So if you call me and you ask, most of the time I just say here.
Yeah.
And I tell them, don't say can I borrow?
Yeah.
Because the problem with that is if you don't give it back the day you say it, then
Yeah.
we have a problem.
See, I'm from the other school now. I want to know what you need it for. Because you want my money. And this is what I do to myself. How long you going to have it? Well, why do you ain't pay that bill?
Yep.
Or what's going to happen next month when it come due again? Or what do you mean you late on your house note? Well, where is your budget? By the time I finish on that, man, I don't even want your money.
Yeah, I do that. I do that now too. I do ask questions. I want to know because, like you said, sometimes you want to know, like, what you gonna do? Well, I'm gonna give you this now, but then when this come up again, what are you gonna do? Because reoccurring bills, I don't really help with, like rent. I
Yeah.
ain't helping you with your rent.
Right.
I'm not helping you with stuff like that.
Right.
But if it's something that where an emergency came up and you just don't got it, here,
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk away with that. But my job is to help you and keep going. I get people who get mad at me because I'm constantly giving to the people on the streets. And they're like, why would you don't know what they're, I don't care what they're doing with it.
Yeah.
They want to go shoot up, they want to drink, they want to do what, I don't care.
Yeah.
My purpose is, like you said, the Bible says the more that you give,
Yep.
the more you will receive. And
Yep.
my whole life has been a struggle.
Yeah.
And I've been fighting to get to at least where I am now. And I remember being on the streets. I remember being homeless. But
How long was you homeless?
I was homeless from 13 to 16.
3 years.
I slept on the
Different times or all in a row? Wow.
My sister, the only person, I hustled every day. But when you're that young, you can't get a place to stay. And I didn't even have family in Nebraska. And I tell people, I wish I would have been homeless in Cali, or I wish I would have been homeless down south. But you're talking about homeless in a place where the snow gets to be at the height of this table.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm in part of my book that I'm writing. I tell the story of, man, I was sleeping in apartment buildings with the laundry room downstairs, just throwing quarters in the dryers just to stay warm.
Wow. That's amazing.
But from that, I get people that be like, man, you should hate everything. And you seen those people that been through something.
Keep
they
you
just
drive. Motivate.
What?
Yeah.
Like, if I don't talk to people, if I don't help people, then I can never get out of your position. I see people all the time that are bitter from their past.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when did you decide to let it go? This happened to me when I was a kid.
So there's something I tell people about that. I said, one thing I learned this in my 60s too. We got to let go. We can't carry luggage. If we carry all the baggage, all the pain, we couldn't go nowhere. Can't get in no car, can't get on no airplane. We ain't got to forget it, but we can't take it with us everywhere. And we can't judge our next relationship based on the past 5 that we had. We got to give everybody a chance.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, I'm adamant about when you're over something and you decided to be over it. I don't care if it's a friendship, a relationship, or whatever. Take what part you were over and figure it out before you move to the next, whether it's making a new friend or whatever, because it's not fair to that person if you bring that baggage.
That's right. And you don't tell them about it.
And then y'all get into an argument and it's like, what did I do?
Right.
So it's little things like that I've learned over my lifetime to say, I have this unique technique that I do, and people think I'm weird about it sometimes, because I can be mad right now and I'll be like, okay, give me 5 minutes, I'm gonna go to sleep and wake back up. That's my reset. Once I reset, I'm not even talking about it no more. We already talked about it, I already went through it. Where are we moving forward?
Well, that makes me want to share it, because I went to this class, and in the class it says, you know when you're getting angry, because your blood pressure start to rise, your heart start beating faster. So talking about the reset, when you know all of this, then that's your time to breathe deep or walk away from that situation, especially in relationships, because the woman always know how to push your button, right? But if you don't want your button pushed, then when you start feeling that way, you think about it, reset, I'm gonna come back, I need to leave, I'm gonna take a walk, whatever it is, you can calm down and come back and have a
real conversation. And I'm not perfect at that sometimes.
Yeah, none of us are.
I'm good at it to a point to where I will just sit back and say, hey, I'm not gonna hold a grudge. I don't. And my girl
I used to hold a grudge for 100
my
years.
girl just said it. She was like, "You're good. It's true. You don't hold grudges." Like, I don't. Like, you could do something to me, and I'll be like, "Okay, whatever." And then I kill them because I may not talk to you for a couple months, and then I may see you and be like, "Hey, what up?" And you looking at me crazy. Like, man.
That's my saving grace. My saving grace was, I hold a grudge so long, I've been to forgot why I was even mad at them. They be like, "Yeah, you all right?" I be like, "What you talking about?" They be like, "Oh, never mind." I've been to forgot.
And that's my whole. So everything with me and my business is built off of spirituality. So it's like I give, and sometimes it gets me, and I'm like, man, like it's like you guys aren't just getting it. But then I understand. Then I get those 3 people that come up and be like, "Thank you. Without you, I wouldn't have got this, or without you, I wouldn't be this far if I didn't get the knowledge from you." Because my business isn't built for me to stay with you. It's built for me to build you and then say, look, I've taught you enough for you to get out on your own. You should just be calling us for the marketing and the branding part.
So you a believer?
Yes.
Okay.
And
how long?
I can't say my whole life. I've been baptized my whole life, but 13, when my mom went to jail and I was out on the streets.
You started believing then?
I had to.
Okay.
Because
So that got you through? Is that the only thing that got you through? Your faith and belief? That it was going to be a better day, or what?
Faith, belief, and just the people around me. Because my friends were people who were out on the streets just like me.
Wow.
I didn't go find new friends just because I started making money. Or I started doing this. Like, I brought my friends up with me. I brought my family up with me. And they speak truth. They speak truth of it. And these are friends. That's why I say wholeheartedly, like, I'm not talking about the friends I met when I moved to Dallas, because those stayed with me as long as I was throwing the parties, throwing the clubs, doing things like that.
Yeah.
They were with me. But the minute that all that, I said, you know what, I'm growing older, I got to get away from that.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
when they got away.
Question. You a believer?
Yes,
Mo?
sir.
How long?
All my life.
All your
I was
life?
born into this.
Are you?
Yeah,
Go
my
to
dad
church?
is a preacher.
Oh, your dad a preacher?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
What
I
kind?
go to
What
church. He
denomination?
is a Pentecostal preacher.
Woo!
Yeah.
If they say don't buy no pink Cadillacs or buy them, everybody go buy them or don't buy them.
Yeah.
Everybody go get a new refrigerator.
Yeah.
Nobody buy no Christmas clothes this year.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yep. So we started having church in the basement
Yeah.
in my great grandma's house, and then I started going to Bethel Pentecostal in Grand Rapids, Michigan, with Bishop C. Abney, and now it's run by his grandson, Jayson.
Passing it down.
Jayson Abney,
Okay.
and he's starting to do church on Tuesdays here in Vegas,
Oh, he's
and he
here?
got a church in Grand
What?
Rapids. So
Nice.
come-
All right, so
yeah,
one more
come with
question.
me. Come with
One
me
more
to church.
question for both of y'all. We ain't gonna go too deep, but we done talked about everything else. We need to talk about relationship.
Yes,
Married?
Divorced.
How long?
I was married for 8 years. I got married in 1999. I would have been married for 24 years.
Okay, well, that's a good thing you remember that.
Yeah.
So now,
I
question.
love my ex-wife.
There you go.
Yeah.
So if you, and we're gonna make this about us, right?
Yeah.
Because it ain't about them, it's about us.
Exactly.
Even though they gonna wanna turn it into about them, it's about,
Yeah.
what could you have done better? Now, with all this experience, all these years, what could you have done better to maybe still have a relationship?
Me is communication.
100%.
If you watch my movie Someone to Love, and the character Chris Manchin, anytime a problem happens, you see him pill out in his car.
We wrong.
That was me when I was a teenager.
Yep,
Now me, I want to communicate.
yeah,
I want to communicate.
Yeah.
If me and her, if I'd have had this level of communication back then,
Yeah.
we'd still be together.
Yeah.
I liked it being married.
okay, I got one.
I
That
enjoy
prompted me to ask one more question. All right, what could you have done? Oh, you married?
Never been married.
Never been married.
Looking
Okay,
at it now.
now the question is why not? And
Uh,
then, if was there ever one you was close to marrying?
There was one. I was with her for 7 years, but I was so young.
Okay,
I met her when I was 16. She was 21. But it was kind of one of those help you grow up relationships where
Yeah.
she started to become like the mom.
okay,
And so as I started getting older,
right.
you start being like, hold on, you can't.
She
tell
was
me
still
what
in
to work.
charge.
Yeah, so we kind of went our separate ways. But how come I've never been married? Because of me.
Yeah.
A lot of the issues is, like Mo said, communication. As I started getting older, communication started getting better.
Yeah.
And I started being able, willing to talk and willing to listen and willing to understand where you were coming from. Because me being out there by myself so long,
Yeah.
it was hard for me to open up.
Yeah.
Now I'm with somebody that is not forcing me, but she's like, we gonna talk this out. Or,
Yeah.
no, we're not walking away. You're not gonna go running high.
Right.
I'm not going nowhere. So sit your butt down here and let's work it out.
Right.
And that makes a bigger difference because that shows that for me to be able to talk, for me to be able to open up with
Yeah.
everything that I've been through in my life.
Yeah,
It's somebody to stand there. All I've ever wanted, and I tell her all the time, is somebody that just, no matter how bad I act or what I do, the thing in a
Don't quit
relationship
on me.
is
Don't leave.
don't quit.
yep.
Right?
Don't quit. Don't
Because
walk away.
We all
Don't.
are
Yep.
imperfect, and we all come from
That's
a different
right.
situation. So if you look at that, I just wanted me coming from my mom going to jail and me being in foster home. I just wanted that one girl that was just going to be like, I'm here.
Yeah.
And we're going to
I
ride
got
or
your
die.
back.
Because I see other people with it
Yeah.
that don't deserve it, and I'm
Yeah.
sitting back like,
Yeah.
man, give me you. Can
Yeah.
I get her? You
Yeah.
want to do her dirty, but can I get her?
Yeah.
To that you mess up and she's like, oh, it's okay, baby. I wish.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so now we got our relationships, right? We where we are in life. Remember our childhoods, right? 2 single men. I'm married, 17 years, but been with her like 40 something, right?
Right.
Off and on.
Yeah.
So, where do you see yourself? This is our final question, I promise.
Okay.
Where do you see yourself 20 years from now? How old will you be?
I would be 66.
Okay, I'm 64, so where are you going to be and then where are you going to be 20 years from now? In your mind, looking down the future, planning, projecting,
Relationship wise?
life-wise, whole life.
Life-wise.
You can tell me family, business, health.
Okay. Family.
Mentoring too, because we know we all need to give back, always.
Family, that's the most important thing to me. So I'll still be, if I'm here, I'm going to be around my family.
Okay.
Yeah. Health, still probably exercise or be active, walking or something, you know. Financially, I feel like I'm going to be financially free.
What does that mean?
Being able to do whatever you want and be able to handle all your, basically your bills and things you want to do. Travel, like I like to travel a lot, and so that costs a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like when I get to the point where that's not costing me, then I'm good.
Okay.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah, and then as for relationship wise, only God can tell us.
Yeah. Do you want to be married? Is that important to you or no?
I think so. I think I do want to be married. I think I do.
Okay. Come on, bro.
So marriage-wise, I plan to be married in the next year or so.
Have you proposed yet, or you?
No, we're
Did
just
she know
talking
about it?
Yeah, she's
You say
right
we
here.
talking about it?
Yeah, we talking about
Okay.
it right
All right.
now. She basically wrote my script for me.
All right.
Basically, building back up my family, because I'm a loner, and I've always been that way with my family, real family, no matter what.
Yeah.
I can go a long time without talking to them, which isn't great, but they know I care because I always tell them I love them via text or something like that.
Yeah.
Just communication, not always good, so I'm working on that. Health-wise, I'm working on getting back in shape and just, you know, as an entrepreneur, you don't get to work out all the time. You
Yeah.
want to, you
You're working.
plan on it, but
Yep.
it just doesn't work out like that. So now I'm starting to get a little bit more financial freedom to where I can get up and move around. And like I said, I had a setback 4 years ago, which pushed me, felt like back to the beginning, but it really wasn't. Just had to fix some, repair some things. I just became a granddad, so I want to
Nice.
get to know my granddaughter, my sons, pull them back into. We don't have a bad relationship. It's just they're in one part of the world and I'm in another.
Yeah.
So it's like pulling them back in and talking with them more. And then what I always tell my girlfriend is building my family, not a family, building
Yeah.
mine, because
Yeah.
I'm coming from a place where I never had it.
Yeah.
So I want to have mine.
Yeah.
So those are my goals as the time. And business-wise, I already know, God's already shown me that money-wise we're going to be great. So I'm just following the tracks that he's already paved and taking every blow that comes with that, if you
Yeah.
understand.
So, in closing, I'm gonna let y'all make a comment on the closing though. So I look back growing up, and I saw in the living room every day I would come home from school or on the weekends, the women would be in the living room talking. My mama, my cousins, my sisters. At a certain age, they kicked them all out. But when they got to be like 10, 11, 12, they let them start hearing part of the conversation. But my experience, there was never no men group. Unless there was a barbecue. And then things I remember, my cousins, they had their money in a rubber band, so I keep my money in a rubber band. But I don't remember any of, and it may have happened, but I don't remember any of the helping the brother transition to a man, other than you're supposed to be hard, you're supposed to have plenty of women, blah, 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 blah. Similar experiences?
So, yes. And I, like, that is, let me tell you, that is a plague among us. That is a sickness. And I hate to say it like that, but it's true.
Yeah.
That's something that is putting us at an early age because we come from, and I talk about it now more because this generation don't have that same, they're more sensitive. They're more feminine, as I could say, as I say it.
All of them.
Yeah.
He's and she's.
They don't see, they don't see the what we had to go through in our times of, and I'm not too, I'm 47, so I'm not too far behind you. At the end of the day, where like you said, only time the guys got together was if we were going out.
Yep.
If the guys were hanging out, drinking, playing dominoes, cussing.
Yep.
It was never to talk about things like this.
That's
and my
right.
dad created a group that we still run in Dallas called Men of Tomorrow. And what he did before he passed was 4 years prior, he created a group that said, let's bring the older generation of pastors and Christians, let's bring them to the new generation.
Yeah.
So he would bring in Pastor T.D. Jakes, all the main pastors, and I would go just recruit men my age.
Right.
But it was a safe space for them to talk about.
Nice.
You want to know about marriage? I want to come sit down and talk with you.
Yeah.
Because you're going to tell me
Yeah.
what I need. Hey, look, when she says this, no, it's a problem.
Yeah.
The keys that we don't get, and we are the only culture and race that don't do that.
Yeah.
We don't prepare our young men.
Yeah.
We make them look like having a bunch of women is a great
That's
thing
right.
because that's what you see.
Just like the
as
slave
you
master
grow
did.
up.
You was
Yeah.
a buck.
You see, if you grew up with your dad and you saw him talking multiple women, you think, wow.
That's
I remember I just told my girlfriend, my uncle, I used to see him with women every day. He was like my idol.
Yeah.
But you don't understand until you get older, like
Yep.
he put you on the wrong track.
Yep.
You should have been working to find a wife first. Because
Yep.
as you find a wife, I tell a lot of men, find me one successful man out there that's a millionaire that didn't have a wife help him build.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you that he's a liar.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care if it was his wife or the long-term girlfriend. Somebody
Yeah.
was in that back office. You know
Yeah.
why? Because we don't have the patience for paperwork.
No.
We don't have the patience for admin work. We don't have the patience for that stuff. I know because I pay 5 women to do this stuff for me. Because all I want to do is come, sit down with you,
Make
put
it
it
happen.
together, and send it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you're in a relationship and you find, I've always looked at it as, and I guess that's why I've never rushed into marriage, because I was like, when I'm there, I'm there. We're not walking away. It's
Right.
no divorces. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
You get mad at me, and one thing me and my girl right now say, you get mad at me, it's a couch right there. You better get on that couch or it's
Yeah.
another bedroom.
Yeah. I remember, I don't know what it was. Somebody say you never go to bed mad. Hell, I done tried, but that don't work.
It don't. I'd rather go to the other room and you stay in the bedroom because
Yeah.
they're gonna stay in the bedroom. Most time we give in to the person we with. We like, let me leave.
Right. Yeah. Can't leave them. All right. Well, closing remarks.
No, I appreciate you guys for having us on. I thank you so much. And guys, make sure if y'all in Vegas, come check out the only black dispensary.
That's right. Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for tuning in to Through My Lens. You just heard from an entrepreneur and a movie producer. Until next time, we'll see you on the other side.
All right, guys.